are down at the docks here at Surdyke Port 20 in Osage Beach, Missouri, with retired Fire Chief Jeff Dorhauer, who is now at the helm of boat rentals and gas dock operations here at Surdyke Port 20. Jeff, in your long years as a firefighter, I know you responded to countless on-water emergencies, many of them involving gas docks and boat explosions and fires that have just got to be some of the most horrific scenes that you can arrive at.
They are. It's a very violent reaction. So I'm glad today we're going to talk about probably one of the most debated issues, not only here at the Lake of the Ozarks, but across the country, and that is, how do you properly refuel a boat? The truth of the matter is you should turn everything off. What happens when you take a 50-gallon fuel tank and say you're down half tank, when you're fueling that half tank isn't necessarily empty because it's filled with vapor. So as you put fuel in, it evacuates vapor from the tank. Now, a blower system is designed to pull fresh air in from the outside and expel it from the inside. When you're refueling and that vapor is coming out of your tank from that vapor space, you take the chance of the fresh air coming in being the vapor from the gasoline. And that is where you see your boat explosions. So really what should happen is, first of all, always turn all electronics off. Even your batteries, it's smart to turn off.
Okay. Where there is electricity, there's sparks. Where there's sparks, there's fire. Is that the point in that?
That's exactly the point. And not necessarily you're going to get a spark from that, but the possibility is there. If you have a cabin or a cuddy, make sure those areas are closed off, because again, the vapors can collect in those areas too.
So I might think that if you have a cabin or a cuddy, leave the door open to it for air to get in, but you're saying
No, what we want to do is close that off.
I would assume you would say, and if you got little ones or anyone down in the cuddy while you're fueling up, come on out, guys.
Come on out, yeah. And you know, it's really good for everybody to be off the boat while it fuels. It's good for everybody to be off the boat when you finally restart it after blowing the motor clean of those fumes. When you put the fill hose in your tank, always create a contact there. That's a ground that grounds this pump to the boat, which lessens the probability of problems. Once you know the refueling's done, go ahead and open those areas back up again to vent themselves naturally, and go ahead and turn your blower on for several minutes.
Oh, okay. A lot of people might think seconds.
No, several minutes.
Okay.
And if you have an electronic hatch, leave that closed for those several minutes. Once those several minutes have passed, open your electronic hatch. Make sure you don't smell gas vapors. At that point, it's safe to restart your boat.
You're working with outboard motors. It's not necessarily an engine compartment, but there are precautions you should take with fueling as well.
Yeah, you should never refuel any vessel, inboard, outboard, IO, unless the motor is off. And that's a key thing with the outboard motors. You know, they're not going to collect the fumes because obviously they're out in the fresh air where your inboard isn't. But that motor needs to be turned off.
Avoiding tragedy really is as easy as turning a key into the off position.
Correct.
Well, what other advice do you have for us today?
Common sense. I mean, that covers a lot of things. Sometimes we just need to take a step back and think before we act. Always err on the side of common sense. And if you're questioning what you're doing, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
I want to take a quick second just to reinforce with people, we obviously love living on a lake because we've lived here a long time, but when you live on a lake, and you having been a firefighter, you've seen why these safety tips are so important.
Exactly. You know, a matter of 4 or 5 minutes when you fuel several times a year can mean the difference between life and death.
Gotta love that, right?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Jeff, thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
look forward to visiting with you again and learning so much more about life on the water. For safety tips, accessories, everything you want to know about boating, everything you need to get off the dock and on the water, check out floatingboats.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Painless. Now we'll just see if it works.